Alright guys, welcome back. I did start making a video, but I had music running still in the background, so I had to finish the video up. Yeah, we're gonna be doing a part two to this. So I'll be in about 30 or so minutes. The difference is it's probably gonna be the last time I'm doing it. Unless people say to me, "Oh, listen, we want to see more of it," then I'm more than happy to do it, of course. But at the moment, I think doing two of them is more than enough. Um, I was supposed to go out today, but I don't know if I'm still going. I guess I'll find out in a few hours. But not my mate. Yeah, who knows? But I'll do anything for my mate, so who cares? Anyway, let's get started.
Competition in America where they vote on the fattest bear. That's
Yeah, just what we need to watch. The fattest bear, huh?
right, lads. F the Super Bowl. I'm about to introduce you to the most important American sporting event of the year, Fat Bear Week.
I don't know how this is so okay, but let's just watch it.
Hosted by the Katmai National Park and Preserve in Alaska every
Of
year
course.
from the 23rd to the 30th of September, the public watches as Winnie and Paddington fight it out to see who is the most absolute of units. And this year's highest calorie Kumamane has been crowned. But before that, how the f does Fat Bear Week work?
Yeah, I'm not too sure how this works.
The event is held in the lead up to hibernation season, while all of these bears are at the peak of their bulk.
So that's when they're at the fattest. Remember, bears go on hibernation, so they need the energy. They need to get fat, so they have the ability to survive the winters. Basically, they're just sleep for a few months. Don't need a lot of fat for it.
Now, while it's running, the park allows the public to view live stream footage from all of their trail cams. These cameras capture all the park's brown bears, allowing us to observe Freddy's fat-ass cousins like we just got a job at f***ing Fazbear Entertainment.
Just what we need.
Each bear caught on camera is assigned a number and occasionally a name. We, the people, then vote on the contestants day by day, pitting them against one another in a f***ing single elimination tournament bracket, determining with our votes which bear most closely resembles a pyro commission until one bear is crowned the victor.
I think it's a very weird event. I mean, I don't know if I'll call it a sporting event, but it's very weird. I don't understand it because I'm Australian, but I guess every country's got their thing.
Now, you may think this is just some silly little event, but no. Over the years, there has been fucking voter fraud.
Yeah, I think it's weird.
Missing hiker, and one year the trail cams caught one contestant beating to death and eating another bear. But now,
okay,
to answer the question you've all been waiting for, the winner of the 2025 Fat Bear Week is 32 Chunk.
32 Jack, huh?
Jaw. They named that f***er after the render distance you need to load in his entire body at once. There is I got into a car crash. I was driving, I was on...
So this is the actual guy who makes these videos. He's from New Zealand. I was gonna say he's from Tasmania, guys. So he's not far from where I live. I live in Melbourne, Victoria. So I'm probably the closest state to him.
I used to work on a farm. I'm driving down the road. It's a narrowish gravel road, so you really need to stick to your side. I come round a corner, so there's like a blind corner. I'm on my side of the corner. Someone comes around the corner in a big car too far over. I see them, and I have to go over to the side. That didn't run me off the road, but it put me in this really thick, you know, really loose, thick gravel. So the car starts sliding towards a wall on this side of the, like a fucking wall over here. So I slide it back, but over this side there's like a fucking 3-4 meter drop.
Oh god.
And I was like, oh fuck. So I slide it back, then realize, oh, I can't get out of this slide. I'm going to crash. Kick the wall rather than going down a hill. Smash into the wall. The car like hits it like the car hits front on. The force of the impact spun it so it was facing backwards. I'm like holding the wheel. The car stops moving. I'm like, Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Okay. Open my door. I have to, like, put a bit of force into it. Like,
Yeah,
bump
probably
the door
damaged it.
open, stumble out of the car. I see the front end of my car has just been torn off. Like, the bumper's ripped off, the radiator's been punctured.
Oh, God.
But there were 3 thoughts that went through my mind. The first one was, am I good? The second thought was, this is going to make really good content when I talk about it. Like, this is going to be really fucking funny. And then I was like, oh, fuck, my car's a write-off. I got into a car crash.
Alright, what's this one?
Okay, so as the Aussie animal guy, I feel like I might owe you an explanation for this one.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Is a normal fucking Roo. No, he is not Jesus Christ. He's not the second coming. And
No, I hope not.
He's not going to turn your water into wine. Alright, he might turn it into VB if you ask nice. But if that's the case,
I can't stand
how
that shit.
is he stealing the Son of God's passive? Well, the answer is fucking sand.
I don't like sand.
Yeah, you see, what's far more likely than a Roo being enchanted with water walking is that he's actually running on a sandbar. That is basically just a fancy description for ocean currents piling up a shitload of sand into one place, creating an offshore segment of the water that's not much deeper than a fucking kid's pool. Now, Roos know about sandbars, and they actually very frequently use them as a shortcut to get from A to B to find more food.
Alright, that makes sense.
So, while it looks like Skippy here is stealing Jesus' entire fucking flow, he's actually on a Macca's mish.
Let me get a...
This is the world's oldest shark.
The weirdest
No,
looking one
but
too.
How old actually is it? This absolute fossil over here is the Greenland shark. And this may come as a shock to you, but the Greenland shark is found in fucking Greenland, man.
Obviously.
With Grandpa Shark here coming in at a fucking kaiju size 6 meters in length and
Oh,
a
I didn't realize it was
literal
that big.
fucking ton in weight, this senior citizen probably worked with Godzilla back in his fucking day. But how senior is senior? Well, you might be expecting him to say something along the lines of, 100 years, maybe 150 years, right? Try higher. No, not 200. Close, but not 300 either.
Chocolate.
No, the Greenland shark can live up to 500 fucking years.
God damn.
I don't think you understand how old that is. So, to put it in perspective, this is Bob. Bob has just turned 500. Here is a list of things this has lived through. All 8 of King Henry's divorces. The invention of chocolate.
I remember when they first invented chocolate.
Shakespeare's entire lifespan. The
Oh,
Boston
God.
Tea Party. The signing of the Declaration of Independence and the founding of the United States. The colonization of Australia. The Industrial fucking Revolution. The invention of the light bulb and adoption of electricity. The Titanic becoming a submarine. World War I. The Great Depression. World War II. The Vietnam War. The fucking moon landing and the
He's
invention
got a bit.
of the internet.
He's got a bit of history, doesn't he?
The first episode of SpongeBob. Schlatt's
Oh,
Crime,
seriously?
2001. The invasion of Iraq. The global financial crisis. The death of Harambe. Australia catching fire. The virus. And it's still with us today to watch fucking TikTok. This is the world's...
I don't know. I don't know how something lives that long. How would something live that long? I wouldn't have a clue.
I don't think you understand just
Ah,
how
the great
old
white shark.
sharks are.
We got a boomer!
See, I'm not just talking individual sharks. Hammerheads, Bruce from Nemo, Jeff. Your average shark lives anywhere between 20 to 80 years.
Of
Nothing all
course.
that special. I'm talking sharks as a species.
Oh,
Because
God.
as a concept, sharks are fucking one-tricks. They have made
Definitely.
this class through every single balance adjustment Earth has thrown at them. From climate change, to the Ice Age, to that time God decided to punt a rock at Barney the dinosaur.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Oh,
when it
boy.
comes to prehistoric shark species, most people think of the megalodon. That big boy the size of a kaiju that was swimming around in the ocean around 26 million years ago. Which might sound like a long time, but as far as sharks go, this thing's a fucking zoomer. Go back around 250 million years to the early Triassic, before the literal dinosaurs, and you'll find Helicorpion, a shark with a buzzsaw for a mouth. 250 not far back enough for you? Go back around 300 million years, and you will find Adestus, the pog shark. And
What
if
the hell's
that's
with its
still
mouth?
not far back enough, you can go all the way back, right to the beginning, to the first recognizable shark, Doliotis problematicus, at 410
Looks more like a
million
fish.
years old. Sharks have existed for 4 times longer than Saturn has had rings. The first
God
tree
damn.
only sprouted out of the ground 385 million years ago. That means that for 25 million years, Groot's great-great-grandfather was sat in God's drafts while this chased Nemo.
Alright, that's one way of looking at it. Oh my god, I can't believe it's that old. I mean, the one thing I like about this guy, one, is he puts out facts, especially about animals and insects and spiders, especially, and snakes. Also, the way he delivers it, I find it very interesting because it's not boring. It's definitely not boring. But yeah, I can't believe that sharks are that old.
Scientists just discovered a new fish.
Of course they have.
Looks fucking ridiculous. This is the bumpy snailfish, a freshly discovered species found off the coast of California. What makes this absolute specimen stick out is that it's a deep sea fish found at a depth of 3 kilometers.
Damn.
And I am here to tell you exactly why. Because once God finished building this thing, he took a step back, looked at it, realized exactly how fucking chopped it was, and punted that thing into the depths of the ocean where no one would ever see it again.
Be free!
However, thanks to the hubris of mankind, it is here before us today to take the piss out of.
Look at the top of his head.
I mean, fucking look at it.
I'm trying not
It
to
is
laugh, guys. I really am.
a profoundly unserious creature. I do not think a single fucking thought has ever spawned behind those eyes. Not to mention the fit on it. It looks like an aquatic, uncooked turkey with a fucking smiley face drawn on it. Coming in at a solid 3 inches in length, Bumpy here is not the only species of snailfish. There's others that look like this. However, unlike his cousins, God deemed it so that this poor little f***er would be built like a shaved testicle. The scientific term for a pair of these should be a sack. However, despite the fact that
Okay. I'm getting his point. It's pretty funny.
he looks like a sperm cell with a receding hairline,
Oh, God.
I love him. He's so cute. Look at that smile. That shit reminds me of Sackboy on the PS3. I know when they got his ass on camera, he looked at it and went,
You know, when you showed me up, you put some of the stuffing in the wrong places, so I'm a little f***ed up. But will you take care of me forever and ever?
scientists just discovered this crab is a boxer.
Oh, God. Yeah, I feel I've seen this one time. Ouch.
That's right, stepping into the ring at 0.15 grams and a huge 2.5 centimeters in length. It's the boxer crab.
Oh, God. It's even got it in its
While
name.
most crabs use their pinchers to feed and defend themselves, the
Yeah, that's
boxer
gonna hurt.
crab has instead elected to spec into CQC and throw f***ing hands.
Uh-oh.
And despite their completely average and not at all small size, this f***er fights in the heavyweight division, able to punch out hundreds of times its size. But how does nature's little Mac win the fights? Well, that's pretty simple. He f***ing cheats. You see, those little
Got
pom-poms
poison.
aren't a fashion choice. Those are both sea anemone that the boxer crab holds in its claws to use as basically fucking brass knuckles. Now, they get these in enemies by finding other boxer crabs who have them,
It's stealing.
jumping them, and then claiming them like they are a fucking WWE title belt. Now, if you weren't aware, anemones are venomous plant-like animals that, in order not to get eaten, sting the shit out of anything that touches them. Boxer crabs are immune to that sting. But you bet your ass that everything that tries to eat the boxer crab
Is not.
So, the crab and the anemone enter into a symbiotic relationship, essentially becoming an aquatic venom, with the anemone getting some of the crab's food, and the crab gaining venomous brass knuckles.
Yeah, that would make it a bit dangerous,
So,
wouldn't it?
whenever a predator gets in the ring with Crab Tyson here, he'll wait for it to get just within striking range, and then... Mr. Squidward, I should kick your f***ing ass!
Oh, I don't know.
This bird is a serial killer.
Oh, yep.
Christ, you're the Bay Harbor Butcher.
I really hate that name.
Introducing the Shrike, a group of feathery friends found all over the world, including the land down under. Now, at first glance, you may be thinking to yourself, how could this sweet little guy be a vicious killer?
Trust me,
I mean,
that
he's so tiny.
looks to be deceiving.
They only grow up to around 30 centimeters and cap their weight out at 90 grams. And on
Pretty
top
light.
of being about as threatening as a fucking teddy bear, look at their claws. A shrike trying to end anything with its talons is like trying to stab a hippopotamus to death with a fucking pool noodle. Listen to the thing. It sings like it's on American Idol. It's a songbird, a branch geek. It never heard a fly. But I'm fucking onto you, Tweety.
You give me the fucking creeps. You know that, Dexter?
You may have everyone else fooled, but I know exactly what you are. Because
Yep.
shrikes actually have another name. They're called fucking butcher birds.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, that's right. The Dexter jokes actually had a fucking point. You see, when the Bay Harbor butcher bird wants to hunt, they first start by selecting a target.
Oh, boy.
Now, unlike Dexter, their code tells them they can eat whatever the they want. Insects, mice, me, even
Lizard.
And once they pick their meal, they wait for the right moment and swoop on it. Now, while those claws might be fucking useless, they do have a signature weapon. That tiny hook on the end of their beak. And once they land on their
Oh,
beak,
boy.
they slide that hook into its neck, perfectly slotting between their vertebrae and severing their fucking spinal cord. But converting their prey into a vegetable isn't enough.
No, 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 no.
These sick fucks keep trophies. Once they have paralyzed their prey and shattered its spine, they will fly its corpse back to their larder, which is either a thorn bush or a fucking barbed wire fence. And once they get home, they fucking impale them.
Okay, that's
They
one way of looking at
leave
it.
that corpse there for days, occasionally biting chunks out of it, eating it like leftovers from the fucking fridge. Dexter collected blood slides. These fuckers create kebabs.
Kebabs,
This
huh?
bird is a serial killer.
Jesus fucking Christ, you're the Bay Harbor Butcher.
All right, let's go to the next
A
one.
lot of people are scared of snakes. But have you ever wondered what snakes are scared of?
Ah,
The
this
answer
bird.
is this fucking bird. Introducing the secretary bird, native to the continent.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a
and
bird
a
that
prime
hated
example
that actually can hurt him.
Being a hater pays off. Coming in at 1.3 meters tall and 4.27 kilos in weight, this lanky turkey has been purpose-built, nay, expertly fucking engineered by the gods themselves with the sole purpose of violating the ever-loving
Of course.
out of any garden hose that so much as looks at it the wrong way. You see, these bad boys are birds of prey, but unlike their cousins in the same category, they are primarily terrestrial, which means they spend most of their time on the ground. This
Of
is
course.
because their preference for diet is sentient slithering sausages. However, with this thing being endemic to Africa, their preferred meal also just happens to include some of the deadliest predators on the fucking planet.
All right, I gotta say this. Every time he says predators, guys, there's always two people he'll bring up. Was it EDP 445 and Doctor Disrespect? Every single time, he brings them two people up. Every single time, never anyone else. I've got to call him out for that, but other than that, let's get going.
Does this stop the secretary bird? No, mate. Despite having no natural venom resistance, these absolute fucking giga-chads will eat cobras, boom slangs, and black mambas without breaking a sweat. But how do they hunt these things without getting bitten? Simple. They just kick the fuck out of them.
Ouch.
You see,
They got a
those
strong kick,
long-ass
guys.
legs aren't just for show, as a secretary bird is capable of accurately curb stomping a snake's head into the ground with a force equal to 5 times their fucking body weight. So when a secretary bird fancies a bite to eat, they start out by stomping the ground around dense vegetation. This causes snakes in the area to poke their heads out of their houses to see what the f is going on. The snake then looks up in horror as the secretary bird locks onto him, sprints over at Mach 9, and then... A lot of people are scared of snakes. But have you ever... This bird is a vampire.
Yeah, I've seen this one too. This one's pretty cool.
Native to the Galapagos Islands and a great example of the horrifying affronts to the universe that evolution can produce when it decides to do a little trolling. Now you see, at first glance, this is the most boring vampire you can possibly imagine. Coming in at a measly 12 centimeters and a mere 20 grams in weight.
Goodness gracious.
That's kind of small.
Rocking a feather pattern I can best describe as a Minecraft dirt block.
Yeah, that's probably...
Turns out, the bastards that wrote Twilight lied to me because it doesn't even fucking sparkle.
It's the skin of a killer, Bill.
So if it's missing fangs, angst, a cape, and the funny accent,
You must bounce on it.
how does it
Okay.
qualify as a vampire? Simple. Drinks a shitload of blood. You see, most birds eat seeds and insects, and while the vampire finch can eat those too, there is a problem. They live on an island, and that island is very small. In fact, they're only found on 2 of the Galapagos Islands, and small islands means a far smaller amount of that food to go around.
Oh,
To the
definitely.
point where these finches can't rely on it as their sole source, which for a bird usually isn't a problem, because, you know, they don't need a plane ticket to just f*** off and fly somewhere. However, as the name suggests, the vampire ground finch can't fly for
yeah.
So, how do they get their food? They suck it out of someone that can. This, don't laugh, is the Nazca booby. Stop giggling back there. Another species of bird native to the islands. They are very strong flyers that feed on fish. They also nest on the islands, which is where our feathery Nosferatu comes to play. You see, when the boobies, stop giggling, come to roost, the vampire finch will sneak over and hop onto their back. Then, using their razor-sharp beak, they will poke a very small, borderline painless hole into one of the bird's flight feathers. Once the blood is flowing freely, the vampire finch gorge themselves on it. See, as it turns out, blood is macro-friendly. And considering these things are living creatures, they just make more blood. In essence, giving the vampire finch an infinite food source. In fact, they can get so much blood from these birds, it is not uncommon to see multiple finches sucking from the same boobie.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I can't say that shit without cracking up. This spider hunts with jump scares.
Ah, yep,
Now,
I know this one.
introducing the trapdoor spider, a family of arachnid containing hundreds of species found in every continent on the globe. Meaning, yes, for once, this bad boy could be in your backyard and you'd never know. Now, trapdoor spiders are...
Actually, it's funny, guys. We're talking about spiders. I was doing some uploading yesterday. I got attacked by a goddamn whitetail. He was looking around. I couldn't grab the shoe fast enough to kill it, and then it disappeared. I haven't seen him since, so I assume he's gone. I reckon I probably killed him when I'm wandering around the desk. But yeah, that was a weird thing for me.
Are particularly interesting compared to other spiders due to their hunting method. You see, normal spiders tend to spend several hours spinning up some elaborate art piece for a fly to clothesline itself on. And tarantulas just jump shit. But trapdoor spiders, yeah, they hunt with a door. Very early on in life, trapdoor spiders dig themselves a hole. This silk-lined burrow will then serve as its home for basically its entire 20-year lifespan.
Oh, damn.
They basically never leave the thing, like some neckbeard living in his mum's basement. But
Yeah.
they've still got to eat, and since DoorDash does not deliver to spiders, this burrow doubles as their method for catching food. You see, they use their silk to craft the trapdoor over the burrow entrance.
Yep.
Then, using their fantastic arts and craft skills, they just bolt a bunch of random shit to their front door so it blends in perfectly with the floor. After finishing
Yeah, you
their
can't even
construction
tell.
project, they will spin up a bunch of basically invisible strands of web on the floor in the surrounding area that act as tripwires, feeding information back to their neckbeard nest whenever something steps on it. And when some unfortunate insect steps a little too
close.
Money, money, money.
This spider hunts with jump. This is the world's biggest spider. But why the is it that big? Introducing Theraphossa blondie, a tarantula surprisingly not native to Australia for once. It's found on the other tyrannid hive continent, South America. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Yeah, this thing is fucking huge.
He's pretty damn big.
175
I rather
grams
big
weight
spiders than
and
small spiders.
12 inches in leg span.
Look at the size of him.
And those legs are not the only place it's packing inches, because
Oh,
Shulab's
boy.
cousin here is packing fangs that measure a huge inch in length. For
Ouch.
scale, that is like a 6-foot human packing canines the length of a fucking ruler. But the important question, why the is it so big? And the answer is that I have withheld information from you. You see, I introduced this girl by a Latin name. She's much better known as the Goliath bird
Eater.
tarantula. That's right, this EDF-sized spider, not unlike me, would fucking kill for some KFC.
Of course he would.
These bile titans will quite happily hunt birds, remy, frogs, and even lizards. And
Oh,
they
God.
do all of this without a fucking web. Yeah, Goliaths are a pure melee build, hunting by prowling the jungle floor, sensing for movement with incredibly sensitive hairs on their legs. These hairs
Oh,
pick
boy.
up vibrations in the air, which tell them when something is close. And once their spidey sense tells them that Remy's in range,
Bam, he
they
strikes.
fucking jump him, biting him with those daggers they call fangs, and injecting him with fucking neurotoxin. Can I go 1 week without covering neurotoxin? Of course this thing has it too. You know, I give up. I give up. They then drag their prey back to their burrow and spit up acidic digestive juices in order to suck their prey up through a fucking straw.
Oh, God.
This is the... Australia just found a new record-breaking insect.
Just
But
what we need,
before I
guys.
show him to you, how the do we keep finding new bugs? You see, Australia is home to an estimated 200,000 species of insect, which is pretty damn impressive, especially when you consider the only place you're going to find more bugs than that is by counting the fucking roach population in Asmongold's walls.
Oh, my God.
Now, the scary part of this is that out of that 200k, we've only actually identified 62,000.
Oh, God.
Meaning that we have no idea what nearly 3/4 of the bugs in the country actually fucking do.
You like jazz?
And so it should come as no surprise that while exploring Australia's dense rainforests, 2 scientists discovered a new record holder for the largest insect in the land.
Here we go,
down
ladies and
under,
gentlemen.
and it's a fucking stick bug.
Of course.
Introducing Acrophila of
Holy shit, it's
coming
huge.
in at a full 40 centimeters
It's huge.
and 44 grams in weight. I don't think that qualifies as a stick insect anymore. That's fucking Groot. Australia's very own Erd tree avatar was discovered in Queensland.
Of course.
Of course it fucking was. And despite being enough inches in length to make any man jealous, it's actually completely harmless. However, given how many oversized bugs we already have, if we find any more, I think they're gonna send the fucking Helldivers. Australia doesn't just have snakes and spiders. It has
Okay.
a tiger. Well,
Tasmania tiger.
Introducing the thylacine, better known as the Tassie tiger. As the name suggests, native to my home state of Tasmania, this tiny little island off Australia's south coast. No, that is not New Zealand. They have hobbits, not tigers. Tiger isn't entirely correct. You see, the thylacine isn't a cat on steroids. You see, this bad boy is the largest carnivorous marsupial on the planet. Despite the kangaroo
Also, I think it's
coming in 7 foot
extinct.
tall and throwing kicks like Chun-Li, they are herbivores, and everything else with a pouch that eats meat is about the size of a chihuahua, making this 1.3 meter, 20 kilo kangaroo dog
That's pretty
with a
impressive.
tiger persona the only marsupial apex predator. See, these things were ambush hunters, using stealth and speed to silently take down their prey like they're playing Assassin's Creed. On top of being a fully qualified Spec Ops agent, these things had a mouth on them to rival Kirby. Capable of opening their jaw a full 80 fucking degrees, which is absolutely terrifying and really cool. There's just one small problem. You may have picked up on me talking mostly in the past tense, and that all of this footage is in black and white. That's because we don't have a tiger. We had one. Unfortunately, the
Yeah, I think they're
thylacine was
extinct.
driven to extinction in the late 1980s. By what exactly? The British. You see,
Of course, that was the British. Why, I'm not surprised.
when the Brits, did their thing and decided Tasmania was their house now, actually, they brought with them livestock, namely sheep and cattle, which was a fucking blessing to the Tassie tiger, which rapidly added these walking meatballs with the survival instincts of a wet sock to their meal plan.
It's free real estate.
The colonists did not take kindly to the thylacine taking their livestock without a license in it, so they placed bounties on their heads. Never mind that these things never attacked humans and very rarely took their livestock. No, they were an inconvenience. And so, they were
Aw.
hunted down. One by one by one. For 70 fucking years. Until
Sounds like the British.
7th, 1936, when the last thylacine, Benjamin, died cold and alone in a cage at the Hobart Zoo. Usually, I'd end these with a joke, but the fact that we wiped his entire bloodline and turned him into a fucking rug isn't that funny.
True.
Australia doesn't just have snakes. Australia
That's kind of sad, though. I mean, completely wiped out the whole animal. I mean, we've done it to multiple animals, but yeah, I don't like that at all. It's like it.
has a straight up Pokemon.
Oh god.
Introducing the brush-tailed possum. More specifically,
Ugh.
the golden brush-tailed possum. Native to the land down under and one of the rare examples of an Australian animal that isn't expressly designed to DoorDash you straight to heaven. You see, the brush-tail is one of a grand total of
Yeah.
23 species of Australian possum, which, despite the name, share absolutely no relation to the red-blooded American opossum. These adorable little marsupials come in all shapes and sizes, from the ringtail possum to the sugar glider, and to our protagonist here, the golden brushtail, which is really just a common brushtail possum with a rare genetic mutation called leucism that causes them to lose the pigment in their skin. So, basically, it's a fucking shiny Pokemon. Coming in at around
Yeah, that's what it
4.5
sounds like.
kilos and 40 centimeters in length, these tree-dwelling marsupials are nocturnal and primarily herbivores, mainly consisting on a diet of leaves and fruit. And for added cute points, as marsupials, yes, they carry around their babies in a little pouch like their roided out cousin the kangaroo. However, come on, the thing is from Australia, you didn't really think these bad boys would be squeaky clean, did ya? You see, they aren't entirely herbivores. Sure, they love a good salad. They will also quite happily raid a bird's nest and turn Tweety's kids into a 3-egg omelette. Roadkill? Sounds like a fine steak dinner to me. And just because it's not a venomous predator doesn't mean it can't take your fucking finger off. And the cherry on top, Aussie Pikachu here doesn't go Pika Pika. No, you see, Down Under doesn't have Pokemon trainers, because when you step into the tall grass out here, you hear this absolute fucking demon. Australia, this spider can remove...
Alright guys, I think we're getting to the end of this. I don't know how many more we'll do, but we'll do a few more.
your limbs.
I like these videos, they're so cool.
How? Introducing the brown recluse, native to the
America.
United States of America, and a prime example of don't judge a book by its cover. Because
Yes.
despite only coming in at a huge 2 centimeters in length and rocking the spider equivalent of default character customization, this little f***er is a level 500 rot build that gives Melania a run for her money.
Oh yeah.
You see, a bite from a recluse starts in the most American way possible, with you accidentally stepping foot onto his private property, causing him to exercise his Second Amendment rights. But considering a spider can't really hold a gun, he's going to settle on biting your ass. Now, that initial bite's pretty painless. You smack him away, all's well. There is just one
For now.
problem. Congratulations, you are now the proud owner of necrotic venom coursing through your veins, which at first
Beautiful.
does nothing. You walk back to your house, the bite starts to sting a little more. You feel sick. The wound swells.
Yep.
And the blood vessels around the bite burst, turning it a deep red.
Oh boy.
Over the next few days, that colour shifts from red to purple to black as the
Yeah.
venom literally destroys and kills the surrounding tissue in a process
Yeah.
called necrosis. This
You don't wanna
causes
see
the
that.
skin to literally rot and fall off of your body. And if you don't catch it in time, that rot's gonna spread. If you're lucky, it'll only make you violently ill and leave permanent scarring. If you're unlucky, it just keeps spreading and the venom starts to destroy your blood cells and shut your organs down. Now, there's kind of only one solution to that, but you weren't using that arm anyway, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Spider.
You gotta lose your arm, basically. You know, cut it off.
This isn't a spider. It's a snake.
Oh, yep, this one.
Introducing the Iranian spider
All right, make this the last one, guys.
horn viper, as the name suggests, native to Iran, and you are all probably wondering why the f this snake has decided to attach a cosplay of the average Australian resident to his tail. The answer
Why not?
is food. You see, every known snake species is a predator. Some eat Bambi, others eat Remy, and the spider tail, not unlike myself, absolutely fucking loves KFC. However, birds
I bet he
famously
does.
tend to fly, and last I checked, note ropes don't have wings. So, how does this viper
Thank
get
God
its
for that.
insects? The answer is again,
I mean, imagine
food.
it flying.
You see, birds eat insects, and the spider tail knows this. So rather than trying to chase his prey down, this lazy fucker has evolved the evolutionary equivalent of DoorDash. You see, when a viper feels like a meal, it'll start the hunt by finding a nice rocky outcrop to curl up on like a couch. And due to the camouflage on his scales, this snake becomes practically invisible. Once he's
Oh, God.
nice and cozy, he begins to slowly wiggle his tail back and forth in front of his face, perfectly
Yep.
mimicking the motion of an insect.
Now, it
Think
does
of this
do
as
look
him
like an insect.
placing his Uber Eats order. Meanwhile, up in the air, our undercooked chicken tender is flying around when, holy shit, a free meal! What a delectable bug, just sitting there on that rock. And so, Tweety Birdie swoops down to grab himself an insect Happy Meal. And just as he's about to reach his meal, this isn't a spider.
All right, I think we'll leave it there, guys. It was a good one. This one was good. I mean, I enjoy these videos. I've watched a lot of the earlier ones, so I wasn't familiar with all these ones. Oh yeah, I enjoy his stuff, guys. So if you want me to do more, just let me know. For the time being, I think we'll move on to something else because we've been doing a lot of this. I haven't really done any political stuff, which I'll be doing for tomorrow and probably the day after. Probably a few of them. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. But first, I'm going to have lunch and then we'll come back and do the rest.